Good afternoon and welcome to the Happy Half Hour. I'm Leigh Kubin, Master Certified Life Coach and Mindset Coach.
I'm Sandra Priestley. I'm a business and branding coach, feng shui practitioner. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
Welcome to my new wallpapered office.
I love it. It is absolutely stunning.
It feels so cool. So much better than the interrogation room it felt like I was sitting in before.
You did kind of sit in an interrogation room for a few weeks.
I do like interrogation, but it worked really well as a parole officer, but not so good, as a
Not in your
batch.
house.
Yeah.
What are you drinking?
I am drinking this because I love the bottle
Okay.
and my husband loves rum. It is from
Paul loves that.
Bamboo, Bamboo Rum Company.
Yeah, I don't
I
know, but
love,
I recognize that bottle. I don't
I
drink it,
love,
but
I love the bottle. I love the cork. That it's like, like I feel like a pirate.
kind of.
Like,
So are you
but
drinking it over ice?
I am drinking it with ginger ale and
Oh,
a half of a lime, like a
okay.
lime. And I'm going to taste it. Oh my
It's
gosh.
good.
It's really good. It's really good. I love
Oh,
it. I love to read on the companies of things.
uh-huh.
So I read that rum actually originated in Barbados, which is where this company comes from.
Okay.
400 years ago, it originated in Barbados. 400 years ago,
Wow.
rum was born. And they mix the rum with some Barbadian spices.
Mm-hmm.
Barbadian?
Sounds
Anyway, some
right.
spices authentic to Barbados.
Okay.
And they use the crystal clear water that is from
Oh.
Barbados in their distilling of the rum. And I thought that is pretty friggin' special.
Mm-hmm.
So I love it.
Nice.
And I just thought that the bottle was so cool. So I
Uh-huh.
need an eye patch now.
There you go.
What are you drinking today?
Well, I'm a lazy drinker today.
Oh,
So, it's just some Josh Rosé, but it was opened this weekend
yeah.
and it was sitting there. And I was like, you need to drink that before you have to pour it out.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of being lazy, but it's really good and it's one of my favorites.
And thrifty.
I'm being thrifty. Yes. So, oh my gosh, this weekend we'd taken Maria back and we had Easton with us. We took Maria back to San Antonio. Lily was at work, so Easton was with us. We get her there, back with her mama. We're getting home, and something told me, check your phone, because I didn't have the GPS on.
Okay.
And I normally keep it on so that if there's wrecks, it can reroute us.
Okay.
Um, but an exit was coming up that sometimes it will tell us to take because it's quicker than going the way we normally go. So I turned it on, and sure enough, it said get over. So I told Paul, I'm like, we've got about a mile, but get over when you can. And he got over and pretty quickly. And we're just trucking along. And I noticed, so the freeway's like 5 lanes.
Oh,
And
good.
we are in the second from the last over here, like on the right side.
Okay.
So this guy from all the way on the left, and it's trafficy. This guy from all the way on the left zips over
Oh,
into the car in front of us. And and then he slows down. So the
oh,
car in
how
front of
kind
us
of you.
slams on their brake because they're going to hit him.
Yeah.
And Paul then has to slam on his brakes to avoid, and it was happening so fast. And all I can think of is Easton is in the car and we are getting ready to plow into this car in front of us. Well, in the meantime, the guy apparently looks back and realizes what he's done. So he jumps over into the next lane where there is a car that kind of turns almost sideways, trying to avoid him. And Paul's got the brakes going on. And I just looked out and I'm praying and I'm looking out the side mirror and I see the car behind us just getting ready to, and I'm like, okay, it's happening. Like there's nothing that I can do right now. I'm just going to expect that everything is going to be fine after we wreck.
Yeah.
Because there was no way in my mind. There were 6 cars all getting ready to be entangled. And Paul has this thing on his truck where, I mean, the tires were squealing. I guess it seems like the steering wheel turned. I don't know. And he said that was the truck, but it stopped us.
Oh.
Like it, and we did not get hit.
Wow.
It was like there were angels all the way around this whole conglomeration of vehicles because it could have been so bad.
So no one got hit at
Not
all?
one single person.
Wow.
And of course, I'm shaking
Yeah.
and sick to my stomach. And I'm like, Easton, are you okay? And he didn't say anything. And I turn around and look in the back seat. He's asleep.
Oh gosh. Yay.
Yay. We didn't make that memory with him.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But all the way home, I was replaying it. And I was like, holy shit. Like this could have been so bad. This could have, like, all these things could have happened. And I'm uptight, like anxious, even when we get home. So that's 30 minutes from the house, probably. So for 30 minutes, I'm stewing, I'm telling the story, I'm making it bigger, I'm what ifing it to death. And I get home and I tell Paul, I'm like, I'm still not right. And he goes, why? We are fine. And it was like, boom, right in the head. Instead of going, wow, look at all that could have gone wrong. And in the midst of that, I was in the right place at the right time. Why am I not celebrating that?
Right.
Instead of focused on something that could have happened, that almost did happen. But, and then, you know, you look back on your life and you look at those moments that could have been disastrous that you avoided.
And we all have them.
Yeah.
Lots of them.
Lots. Yet
Lots.
we are walk around fearful.
Yes.
Oh, what if this happens? What if this? Oh, got to be super careful over here.
Yeah.
But it was a great reminder for me to stop looking at what I'm afraid of or what could go wrong or what could have gone wrong and celebrate the hell out of the stuff going right.
Yeah.
Because it's like the universe has showed me so much of that this week just by letting go and going, oh, wonder how that's going to work out. Got to get this stuff done. I don't have time to fret about it. And then, like magic, poof, let me take care of that for you, Leigh.
You know, when my husband and we were wanting to leave our jobs in the prison. We had no idea like what we were going to do or where we were going to go, or, you know, we were driving back from visiting where we grew up, and our parents lived there at the time. And so we drove past and we saw the sign to this small little city, 10,000 people, and Cam said, I wonder if there's a job there for me. Like, and it was so wild. We had never seen the city that we now live in before we moved. And no clue. But we did that same thing. It felt like the most delicious manifestation. And I swear that it was because we stayed in that energy of grateful for where we were. Like we were still grateful to be
Yeah.
working in prison. You know, we were grateful to live in this mountain town. It was beautiful. There was cougars, there was elk, there was grizzly bears and timber wolves, and
That sounds scary, Sandra.
it as I'm saying it, it does. But like it's like it's what we were surrounded with. It was beautiful. Like we had mountain, we were on the side of the mountain, and we would walk across the street into like wilderness.
Hmm.
And so we were grateful for where we were, and then we decided that we wanted to move. And it literally became this like obstacle, and we just stayed in the faith, and then we moved through it, and then
Yeah.
another obstacle, and we are like, oh, I wonder what's going to happen. Oh, there it goes. And it just felt delicious. I can't
Hmm.
explain it other than that. It was just like to experience an obstacle that just seemed like, oh, okay, well, this will
How's that
just
going to work itself out?
this will just clear up. I wonder how.
Uh-huh.
And we never panicked. We were just like, yeah, well, okay. Well, I wonder what's going to happen. Versus some of the other situations that I definitely have gone down the rabbit hole of despair on, right?
Hmm.
And even like situations where they didn't even exist, like an obstacle didn't present. Actually, I probably deal with the obstacles better than I deal with the fear of one
Yeah.
or the
Yeah.
potential of one. Like when the obstacle's there, I'm like, whoa, okay, well, let's move through it.
Hmm.
But in my mind, it's more real of an obstacle than it is when I'm facing it,
Yeah. Yeah.
because of the emotion attached
Hmm.
to it,
The
right?
fear. Yeah. Fear is, oh, powerful.
I would rather deal with what I like. It's easier to deal with what is
Yeah.
than what if.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I remember just feeling like we were fucking powerhouses because we met with a lot of different scenarios, different, like, our house went to go, we sold our house, and then all of a sudden something came up. I can't remember. It was like a new law, and we had to get our houses rezoned or something. It was like crazy ridiculousness. And it caused us to have to rent this house for a week before, like, we pushed everything back, right? And I remember thinking, like, people were saying, oh my gosh, and kind of catastrophizing it for us.
Yes. Yeah.
And I remember thinking all of these people would create the energy that creates a bigger problem.
Correct. That's why you don't tell people when shit like that happens, because they're going to go, oh my God, are you okay? What are you going to do? Oh,
Mhm.
oh, I feel so bad for you.
And I don't want to be in that energy. I just
No.
want to be in the energy of like, fuck, okay, what are we going
Yeah.
to do? What's going to
Figure it
happen?
out.
But it feels so powerful, doesn't it?
Hmm. Oh, yeah.
To
Yeah.
just go, oh, okay, here's an obstacle. I wonder
Yeah.
what's going to happen, because it's going to cure up, because everything works out for me always.
Always.
Yeah.
I was with a patient this week, and she doesn't live in the vortex, and I don't know that she knows there's a vortex.
Mm.
But she's really been struggling losing weight. Says she's sticking to plan 100%. Well, she starts telling me how stressed she is this week.
Mm.
And her son is out with his friends and apparently has been speeding. And he just got this job offer from Mercedes Benz. But if he gets one more ticket, they're going to cut him out of the program. And so now it's her job to make sure he doesn't get a ticket.
Oh,
And I'm like, yeah, that has nothing to do with you. Like,
yeah.
if he gets a ticket, he gets kicked out of the program. That's on him. But
Mhm.
you can't, and you can't make him not speed. Like,
Yeah.
he's an 18-year-old boy. He's going to do whatever the hell he wants to do. And so that wasn't the right thing to say to her, Sandra.
Some of us don't like the truth.
No,
Because you could have
because
said the same thing to me. You probably did say the same thing to me about my oldest, right?
yeah, yeah.
And it's, but I mean, I took it because I knew that you were right.
Well, and you knew where it came from,
Yeah.
but she dug in. She's like,
Yeah.
no. She
Sometimes.
said, I have to make sure, as though she has any control. I didn't want to laugh, but I'm like,
I know.
hey, this is his life.
I
But
know.
then she starts telling the story of how he wasn't home at midnight, and she started hearing sirens, and she started panicking and freaking out, assuming he had been speeding. He could have been in a wreck. He'd be dead. And they literally got out of bed, drove towards the sound of the sirens.
No.
I
Oh,
said, why didn't you just call him?
yeah.
Say, hey, you
Because
okay?
he's in a ditch. He was like,
She said, well,
oh.
if he was being pulled over by the police, I didn't want to get him in more trouble. And then he wouldn't be able to answer. So then I would worry more. And I was like, oh, you're committed. Well,
Mhm.
she goes there. It's not him, but he happened to be there watching it all. He was just sitting in a parking lot over there watching it with his friends.
Oh dear.
And she's like freaking out, mad at him. And he's like, what? I'm just sitting
You're just,
here in a parking lot now with some cops,
yeah.
just because the cops were there and they were talking to them about what had happened because it was a wreck.
Mhm.
But I just laugh because we dig in with these things and we can't see them until we're ready, until you have
But
someone spew it at you.
yes, but also, this is what I noticed with coaching. So you tell me if you think that this is the same or you experience it, or maybe I'm just a lucky one. But I noticed that when women have a big goal that they want to achieve, and it's going to cost some significant shifts for them
Yeah.
in order to reach that goal. I see this all the time with weight loss, but I also see this with business.
Oh, with anything.
It becomes like their fucking mission to find a distraction.
Uh-huh.
So instead of, showing up going, I'm not losing weight, I'm blah, 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 blah. What's going on? Well, my life is a shit show. My son, this, my daughter, this, my husband, this, my roof fell in, my family is this. I've got all of this illness around me. And I'm like,
And I have to carry it all.
right. And like, I have literally said to, well, this was just a little while ago. It was, but what exactly is yours here? Because I get that you would feel awful for your neighbor, for this person that is like a mom of a kid that you kind of know. I get that you would feel awful because your son is struggling or your daughter is struggling, but they're adults
Yeah.
and they don't live with you either. So, what is it that you're trying to avoid instead?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like a lot of time, it's like we don't want to look in the mirror. So, we like amplify
Mm-hmm.
an issue and somehow own it. It's like
Yeah.
the worst piece of dog shit there is, and you're rubbing your face.
All over it.
It's like you're covered.
But it's a distraction that keeps us from showing up. Oh,
Absolutely.
I can't do this right now. This is hard because I've got to deal with this. That
Yes.
damn kid
Yeah.
doing this again. So
Yeah.
I've just got to put my dream on hold.
Exactly.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
That's an excuse. Full
Mhm.
stop. Did
Yes.
not say that,
Absolutely. But you could have.
but I could have. But
But it wouldn't have, my
she
probably wouldn't have gone over well because she wanted to rub her face in it.
she was in the middle of it. Yeah, she
Yeah.
was, having her shit bath.
Yes.
Um,
love that. But shit that, but it's the truth.
It is totally the truth.
And
Yes.
not that you and I haven't done the same thing. And this is the beauty of it. It's not
Should.
like, of course we've done the same
Well,
thing.
yeah, I did it on Sunday after the almost wreck. Lost
Yes.
my mind for a minute.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. That's why I love coaching so much. It's like, it's not like we're sitting here all knowing and have never done it before.
No, it happens all the time.
It happens all the time. And the thing is, it's like to just sit in awareness of it
Mhm.
and like just look at yourself in the mirror and go, fuck, I'm doing it again.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
what
dummy.
am I wanting to run from?
Yeah.
What am I wanting to run from? And why am I running towards this pile of shit
Hmm.
when I don't need to?
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I have absolutely gone down the rabbit hole of crazy,
We
like,
all do. We all do. But I've heard her tell her stories and tell her stories and how dramatic things are. And I lost all my photos and oh my, this was different photo lady, but
oh,
this was a no, this was a
oh,
shutterfly photo that
okay.
because she hadn't bought anything in a month or something, they took all of her pictures out. Well, she's been putting all of these pictures in to make an album, but she was waiting until it was right before the time so she could have it printed. It's like
Oh,
a graduation thing. And she was tripping completely
mhm.
out and telling the story, like the emotion and the you're feeling for her. And the end of the story is, and they ended up calling me back and telling me they restored all my photo albums back to where they were, and I got it printed and it didn't miss a beat. But the excruciating pain
Uh-huh.
of just telling the story and the emotion and her hands, and she gets angry and I couldn't believe they did this, and it's already been worked out,
Oh boy.
and so I'm watching this and I'm like, oh, that's your pattern that you're in. And that's why I just busted out with, let him get a ticket. If he gets a ticket, it's on him. Has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
That is his path. Let him live it. He'll learn from it. You can't fix it for him forever, or you will be fixing it for him forever.
Yeah.
So you're going to let him figure it out on his own, or are you going to keep living it for him?
Mhm.
But I would love to coach her outside of
Mhm.
weight loss.
Mhm.
I would absolutely love to. I just don't think she's in the headspace for it yet. I plant seeds every week,
Yeah.
but she's not one that is ready because it's a commitment, right?
It is.
And it's work. And you got to look at yourself and go, yeah, I'm tired of that dog shit.
Mhm.
I want something a little fresher.
And
Just
yeah, I know. I see so many clients that, but usually the ones that I work with, um, they know me from social media. They know me from my free group, or they
you're
know me.
ready.
So they're ready, but
Yeah.
also they know I don't hold, they know I don't hold back.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty, so if I had started off with a different type
Mm.
of coaching, like weight loss coaching, I might not be as edgy, but I kind of, and a lot of times I think, fuck, like, did you really say that? But it is said with such love because I don't want to see women like chew on their excuses to the point where they stay stuck in misery.
Right.
I can't
Hmm.
I- because I know how much beauty there is
Yeah.
when you can step out of that trauma and drama and bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really hard to watch people go through, our
Hmm.
kids too, but it's really hard to watch people go through this like self-abuse.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it is.
It
And
is.
it's needless suffering.
Yeah.
because we
Yeah.
think we're supposed to. I've got to worry about them. I've got to fix everything. No, you don't. No, you don't.
Yeah.
Go show up in your life. Let them show up in theirs.
Exactly.
Be that example for him.
Mhm.
Guess what I started reading this week?
Ooh, did you start reading The Gap and the Gain?
I did. I did.
Is it good?
It is good. And I'm not reading it, I'm listening to it
Okay.
because I've decided that if I bought it, it would go in the back of my stack.
Yeah.
And I had to go pick up my granddaughter this weekend.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And so I
Working
thought,
while you drive.
that's 2.5 hours. Now, when I picked her up, I had to turn it off and put on Trolls Station on Pandora because that's our jam. And we have to
Okay.
have Trolls music.
Right. Fun.
Um,
So is it this like okay, so this is truly like the happy hour while we're sitting here at the bar, but I want to
yeah,
know, is it more complex or is it literally like
super
the
simple.
one paragraph that I keep thinking is like the
There's a
whole
lot of examples and they get into the why of it,
okay,
but it is simple in this, and it's two guys that wrote it, and they're
right.
very different guys, but it's cool how they came together. But
Okay.
when we are focused on where we are and where we want to be, and we're gauging that and judging that, and fuck, I'm here and I should be there. Why am I not there?
Yeah.
We're not going to get there. It's not. And if we do, it's not going to be an easy, fun in the
No.
vortex ride.
Yeah.
What we need to be doing is going, where did I start?
You know, I think I was saying this last time, but was I talking about sports? Was
You're
I
always talking about sports, Sandra.
I know, I know, I know.
I mean
But
that lovingly.
I know. But I was thinking about this, the gap and the gain, and I was thinking
Mhm.
about my son. Hey, he's always living in the gap. But as an elite athlete, semi-pro athlete, I feel like it's always in the gap. They're coached to be in the gap. They're coached to never be happy with where they are. But I was thinking about this just now. When he lives in the gap, everyone else that doesn't have a fucking clue where he's going, they see him in the game.
Mhm.
People view him in the game and he sees himself in the gap. And I probably feel like I see both,
Yeah.
because I know where he's going. I know what is expected of him. And then I also go, holy shit, he just started at age
Yeah.
whatever he was in grade 9,
Yeah.
14.
Yeah.
Like, most people are starting in grade 3. He started in grade 9,
Mhm.
and look at how far he's come. Look at how much better he is. Look at how much
Yeah.
faster he is. Like, so I feel like I see both. It's
Mhm.
so intriguing to me that like I feel like every single thing I can relate to sports or business or
Yeah.
weight loss.
They're all the same, Sandra.
Every single
Every
one.
subject is the same. I
Yeah.
was talking to one of my coaching clients today, and she's struggling a little bit in her business. And she's like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And I'm trying not to focus on what I'm doing wrong. And she said something about a gap. And I don't even know what she was talking about. But I was like, oh my gosh, okay, that was the universe telling me I need to tell you something. There is a book, The
Yeah.
Gap in the Game. And I want you, I said, when you're looking at your business right now, are you gauging it on where you think it should be? And she said, yeah. From where you are to where you think it should be. She said, yeah. And I said, okay, for a minute, I want you to stop doing that. And I want you to imagine a year ago
Mhm.
when you just bought the place
Yeah.
and look at where you are now from
Mhm.
where you were then. Not just from the people that I see running around you right now,
Yeah.
but the way you feel and the
Absolutely.
way the place, because she's completely renovated this place.
Mm.
And she's doing great, but she thinks she should be sold out and just booked from open to close and on weekends.
Well, and I mean, if you look on social media, you'll find someone yapping about it, right? I went from 0 clients to booked out in 30 days.
Mhm.
And the truth of the matter is that same person was probably at 0 for 7 years. Like,
Right.
right? And that allows us, or that social media, that
Mm.
um comparisonitis,
Yeah.
that just
Yeah.
perpetuates that
Mhm.
gain or gap mentality
Yeah.
so
Right.
like I often will tell my business or branding clients to stop fucking following everyone
Yeah. Yeah.
except for me.
Unless you can look at it as though if it's possible for them,
Yeah.
it's possible for me.
Yeah.
And
But
that's
a lot of times I see I'm coaching women who are like, they're watching that, but at the same time, they're like, if it's working for her in that way, I have to do it in that way. But if it's not a strength of theirs, it's not going to work for them in that
yeah,
way. And that's the key, is like we have to find out like what's our way.
right. And
No
that's
matter
the tricky thing is that
that,
when we try to copy someone, that's not authentically us. It's not the same magic. You can't steal someone's magic.
no. And it's hard because we might know what our magic is.
Mhm.
But if we look around and go, that can't be possible because I don't see it anywhere,
Mm.
then we stay small. But I mean, guess what? Catch up. Like, I was reading a book, an excerpt of a book on the Dorito effect. And like there are people who fly out the gate and they add things like, cheese to taco chips. No one else has ever done it before.
Yeah.
Fucking flies. And
Yeah.
that's, it's like when no one else does it before, that's what makes people
Yes.
successful. So you just
Yeah.
got to find your thing.
Yeah.
As soon as you
Go with
figure
that.
out what are your strengths and
Mhm.
do that,
Everything falls into place.
everything falls into place. I think where time is up.
Time is up. Yes, ma'am. You think correctly. Thank you, Sandra. This was quick, but this was good. I
Nice.
enjoyed it. And thank you guys for joining us. We will see you next Thursday on the Happy Half Hour. Bye.
Bye.